It is a beautiful day out, and it is once again time to talk some Philadelphia Eagles football. So do us a favor, kick back, relax, because episode number 17 of Birds of the Gridiron starts. Let me make sure my watch is right now. Welcome in, everybody, back to another edition of Birds of the Gridiron live here on Facebook. We are, oh, wait a minute, I forgot. There's a couple more things. We are not only live on Facebook, we are also live making our YouTube debut. The Birds of the Gridiron YouTube channel has officially dropped. It happened yesterday, so do us a favor as we are live there on the tube. Go hit that subscribe button. Always hit that like button here on Facebook. And yes, we are actually live on X for a change. I've decided to throw it on there on my personal X account. So let's have some fun there as well, I guess. We know how that goes. But as always, you guys know this is the show for Eagle fans by Eagle fans. And of course, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, Tyler Adams. Mr. Adams, how are we on this beautiful, warm Monday evening?
No, Sam, we are doing great today. But there's one burning question I've had since we started since before we rolled the intro. Where's the watch at? Where'd you check the time?
It's a look, hold on, look. Okay, see, look. So look. I have a watch, as you can't tell. There's a watch.
Just duct tape around the arm.
Yeah, just a little duct tape on the iPhone. You know what? You don't need to know. You guys, you don't need to ruin my prop thing, okay? You don't need to do it. I don't know where my actual watch is, okay? Leave me alone.
You're right.
So look, we have a jam-packed show for you guys tonight. We'll talk about some Eagles OTA stuff. Mandatory minicamp starts this week, so we'll get into that a little bit. We'll discuss a certain incident that happened down in Sea Isle City, New Jersey, with we'll talk about that. Of course, we have a poll question results we'll get onto right after the first segment. But tonight's first segment, it's a good one. It's talking Eagles wide receivers. It's talking all the pass catchers. And the poll question that I will always defer to Mr. Adams to start us off here. Tyler, who will be the Eagles' leading receiver? A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, other, and who is the other? And don't you dare say Paris Campbell.
I'm going to go with other. And it's going to be number 26, Saquon Barkley.
Do you actually believe yourself right now?
I do not. Saquon, he's going to be primed to have one of the best years in his career. Maybe even if we're lucky, he might show some signs of that rookie year that he had, where he put up all those crazy receiving and rushing yards. But there are two other top receivers in the league on this team, and they are going to be the ones who are going to get the bulk of the share. Unfortunately, my love for Dallas Goedert, we all know it. He's not going to be the leading receiver on the team. That's not to say that he can't put up one of the highest years of receptions and receiving yards in his career. He could definitely do that. The ball's going to be going around a lot this year. It's going to be a high-flying offense from what we're expecting. But when I have to break it down, I have to say none other than A.J. Brown is going to be the leading receiver on this Philadelphia Eagles football team. He may not even beat out Devontae Smith by 500 yards, He may edge him out by maybe 200 yards. But at the end of the day, when you add up the numbers, I think that A.J. Brown will be the number one leading receiver on the team.
All right, fair enough. Well, I went to the poll question, and I decided to go with my favorite current Eagles player. And yes, I'm wearing my Saquon Barkley shirt by saying that. And I'm going with Devontae
Miles
Smith.
Sanders.
Stop it. You're going to be laughing until he gets cut by the Panthers and he returns here. You're going to be laughing until that happens.
Is he going to be our J.J.?
They're literally just gonna run it back with the Penn State backs. That's literally all they're gonna do. We're just gonna Penn State it.
Gosh. They're bringing Penn State back.
We're bringing Penn State back. Yes, Tyler, that is
What's
exactly.
up, Dennis? He said, "Oh my God, it's my heroes."
Dennis, we hope everything's going well, buddy. Of course, Dennis is our friend over at the Countrywide Eagles Tailgate Podcast. Oh boy,
still showing his love for Reed Blankenship.
Yeah, let's put the first one on there. We'll be fair there. We'll do that. We'll put the first one on there. But no, I think this is the year finally that we see break out Devontae Smith. Because, I get the whole A.J. Brown thing. A.J. Brown is one of the 3 best wide receivers in football. Go argue somewhere else if you don't believe that, okay? Can you name 5 wide receivers better than A.J. Brown?
I can maybe name 2.
I can name maybe 1. And that's Justin Jefferson. I can't name. You cannot look at the last 2 years of production and tell me there are 5 wide receivers better than A.J. Brown since he put on a Philadelphia Eagles uniform. Now, Tennessee A.J. Brown, that was just a game-managing wide receiver. That's because he had no one to throw the football to.
Yeah. When you have Ryan Tannehill throwing the football to you, that's about all you can do.
But, I mean, this is A.J. Brown who put up, 125-plus for 6 straight weeks last year?
Yep.
And this is no knock on that. But eventually, teams are going to figure out different types of ways to get that to stop. So how do you combat that? You have a great number 2. And they've got a number 2 who arguably on most teams could be a number 1. Devontae Smith is a number 1 wide receiver on almost most teams in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. He definitely is that type of player.
Dennis, don't touch my stats. My stats are my stats.
It makes it difficult, though. You have two number 1 receivers on the same team. It's a hard decision to pick who is going to lead the team in receiving yards. They're both going to have the chance. They're both going to have all the same opportunities. It's just going to come down to which one does it.
True. And, now they're not going to have the same identical opportunities because there's a running back now on the team that's going to command his fair share of touches as well.
Yeah. Both on the ground and through the air.
Yeah. So I just wanted to see, I don't know. I personally don't know. I'm going to say I'm sticking with my vote, and I'm going with Devontae Smith. I just personally think he's going to be the guy. Dennis, as always, brother, thank you for tuning in for a minute there. Hope Grandpop's doing better.
Thanks for stopping in, Dennis. We'll see you. Hope all is well.
He's in our prayers. What's up, Ryan?
What's up, Ryan?
But yeah, I think, what have I always said? A.J. Brown is the most physical specimen of a wide receiver I can think of.
You're not wrong.
But I've always thought Devontae Smith has a little more talent.
Ooh. Sam, you know what they say? Nothing you say before the word but ever counts.
That is true. I've always felt that way. And look, this is nothing. And let me see if I can say this for the 15,000th time. I am not taking a dang thing away from A.J. Brown. He is one of the best wide receivers in football. It's not even a doubt. There's no doubt about it at all. But Devontae Smith's footwork, his route running, not that AJ's not a great route runner, I'm just saying, the route running ability, the burst, the footwork, it's all there. And Devontae Smith could easily. How many teams is Devontae Smith a wide receiver 2 on in the NFL?
Maybe the Vikings.
Yes.
Maybe, just maybe, I don't even know. Maybe the Cowboys. That might be a stretch.
The guy in Dallas cannot win outside.
You're right. He succeeds in the slot. He's one
I
dimensional.
will. I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it for the last time. CeeDee Lamb is one of the at least a top 7 wide receiver. It's no doubt about it. But the guy has not consistently won on the outside. He's great in the slot, unguardable, can't be touched. But the guy has not proven to me he can win on the outside. When I've seen him on the outside, I've seen Darius Slay lock him up.
Yeah.
And this is Darius Slay before the knee surgery, when he wasn't running at his best. So I think Devontae Smith is better. It could be better than CeeDee Lamb one day. CeeDee Lamb looks good because there's literally no one else for Dak Prescott to throw the football to. And this is what I love about this. We get the national criticism of Jalen Hurts that, he can't throw the ball to AJ every time. Well, maybe we should go down to Dallas and use that same metaphor, because I don't think Dak Prescott knows who Brandon Cooks is.
I don't even know if Brandon Cooks knows who Brandon Cooks is.
I think Jerry Jones thought Brandon Cooks was Randy Moss at one point. But no, it's just like at that point, like, okay, if the guy's one-on-one versus corners that can't guard him, throw him the football. What, do you want to stop doing that? Do you want to stop throwing the football to your best wide receiver? You want to start throwing it to Julio Jones?
Oh, we saw that happen. But that didn't go well.
By the way, I know we like to make a bunch of jokes about the Cowboys. I get that, right? We do have some condolences to give out from our NFL family, as Cowboys Hall of Famer Larry Allen passed away today. Was it today? Or was it yesterday?
It was today.
And apparently it was unexpected. He was on vacation in Mexico with his family. So our hearts and our thoughts and prayers go out to Larry Allen and his family during these hard times. He was unfortunately only 52 years of age. Too young. And to hear it happen unexpectedly just breaks the hearts of NFL fans around the world. So our thoughts are with Larry Allen and his family during this hard time. But back to the wide receiver thing. Devontae Smith. He's a number 2 in Minnesota. He may be the number 2. He's number 2 here, but I don't see them as they have a 1 and 2 here. I say they have 2 number 1s.
Yeah, they do have 2 number 1s.
I do not view Devontae Smith as a number 2. I view him as a number 1. And how you view that is if I view you as a number 1, that means that if you're going up against a number 2 corner, they're toast. Like literally toast. There is no shot in there. All right, so Ryan's talking about Cam Jurgensen. He has to be the focus on this offense. It's a big deal. Nobody is making it enough of a big issue. I say this because Hurts struggled big time under one of the best centers of all time. Now he has to get accustomed to Jurgens. Yes, Jurgens played. Hold on a second. Yes, Jurgens played center in college, but still, yes, Stout's an amazing coach. But let's see it first from Jurgens. Ryan, the guy was a Pro Bowl alternate last year.
Hey, here's my part of that statement. Where did Hurts struggle under Kelce?
Yeah.
Was it the couple of times that entire offense was just discombobulated because they didn't know what play Brian Johnson was trying to run.
Yeah, and
We've seen miscommunication from time to time last year. Last year was a year most Philadelphia fans don't want to remember from what was it, week 10 on?
about week 11, yeah,
Week
something like
11
that.
on? We went through what was it, just last week's show or the show before that, where we deep dove into is this a bounce back year for Jalen Hurts?
Uh, it,
It might have been
that was
last
last
week's
week.
show.
It
Yeah.
was last week.
Long story short, my answer was no, it's not a comeback year because there's nothing to come back from. He put up equal to, if not better in some categories, the numbers last year than he did during the Super Bowl run year. There
Yeah,
was no struggle under one of the best offensive line, one of the best centers of all time. The offensive line, I'll say it had some struggles throughout the year. There were some points where they weren't as sharp as we're used to seeing, but they were still one of the best units in football.
yeah. No arguments. Look, you're not getting any arguments from me.
So I think what would be fair is if you said that Jurgens is viewed as the weak link and not because he's not talented enough, just because nobody knows how he's gonna do. We've seen him be the Pro Bowl alternate for right guard. We know he played center in college. We know he's talented. We've just never seen him play center for our team. We've never seen people are scared because he has to fill the shoes of a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of
And
Famer.
yes, and Ryan, you're doing what I asked and begged of you guys not to. Stop. Do not think of it that way. I understand who's he's replacing. But you know what? I'm sorry. Why was nobody concerned about this with Jordan Mailata taking over for Jason Peters? I don't
Jason
feel like we.
Peters kind of dug his grave before he
No, no,
left.
no, 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 no. Yeah, you get my point.
I
Jason
do,
Peters,
I do get your point.
he's a future Hall of Famer, right? I don't care what your opinion. Yes, I understand your opinions of the last 2 years. He's a Hall of Famer.
I just don't know how this man is still getting money from NFL teams.
Regardless, is he not a Hall of Famer?
One day, maybe. Anthony, we're still on the poll question.
Yeah, we're on the poll question, Anthony. But you know us. If a fan gives us a great comment, we got to talk about it.
So yeah, feel free to drop your thoughts, Anthony.
But no, you're doing what I asked everybody not to do. Do not view Cam Jurgens as Jason Kelce because you're going to unfairly do this to him. I don't want to hear about the concern with Cam Jurgens. First of all, Cam Jurgens was scouted. He was scouted by Jason Kelce. I'm not worried about it. Oh, no, Ryan, I understand. No, Ryan, trust me. We know exactly what you're trying to say. I get it. I understand that the focus has to be on Cam Jurgens, but I feel like people are like I don't understand why they're concerned with Cam Jurgens. We saw Cam Jurgens last year, yes, at right guard. I understand that, but he was scouted by Jason Kelce for a reason. And Ryan, we'll work on a future episode to have you on the show. Only because we didn't get to plan it out this week, so we'll work on having you on the show one day, buddy. But and Anthony asked, when was the last time a wide receiver got top money and was still good? Just wondering.
I mean, trying to think. Some top receivers over the past few years. I mean, Diggs got top money a few years ago, and he was still one of the best.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else over the years. I mean, we've seen so much over the past like 5 to 10 years of wide receivers just like kind of fluctuating through their primes. Like they'll peak for a few years and then they'll, fade away a little bit. Oh, another good example, Mike Evans. Which I don't even know. Did Mike Evans ever even get top money? Or has he just been going along for the ride, getting whatever they give him?
I'm sorry. Has AJ Brown not been good since he got the $25 million a year on draft night after the Eagles trade?
He has.
All right, so Ryan is upping up his comment here about it's more of a thing with Hurts having to learn under a new guy. Yeah, but Ryan, they've been together now for 2 years. Even if he's not playing center in games since he's drafted, he's definitely worked on snaps with Jalen Hurts in practices over the past 2 years. Cam Jurgens literally is a center.
Yeah.
He was only playing right guard last year because of Jason Kelce still being here.
I'm
So
sure he practiced in case if there came a point in game where he needed to swap over to center. So they probably already have a little bit of a report down.
And Zolt's comment here, there's no argument from here.
Yeah.
There ain't
But
no
Amon-Ra just got his money though.
Yes,
So that's still
Amon-Ra.
to be determined.
No,
But
it's
yeah,
not.
I don't see Amon-Ra having any sort of regression.
No, if anything, Amon-Ra's going to be better. He's just because he's finally got a decent offense that can get him the football.
I guess the only argument that you probably could make, and that Anthony might be thinking of, is Cooper Kupp. But Cooper Kupp was injured. He
Yeah,
got injured. So
and then his quarterback got injured.
yeah, so that's not really very fair on his part. I mean, I'm trying to think of like the big busts as far as wide receivers go, but I can't really think of that many.
I'm blanking, honestly. I'm blanking like Blankenship.
Maybe DeAndre Hopkins, but then again, I wouldn't say that either because his time before he got hurt in Arizona, he was like the best receiver in the league. It's not to determine he will still be.
I think you've triggered Zolt.
Hey, Zolt, all I'm saying is, from watching the NFL and how it works, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it.
Yeah,
let me just keep this very, very broad. Injuries can happen to anybody. I'm just gonna. I was gonna be more specific, but I'm just leaving it broad.
I think we need to have you on Dueling Aces when Zolt's on one night. I think that would be pretty fun. I wouldn't even be there. I'll just sit here and watch.
Oh, dude, you're not gonna have any complaints from Amon-Ra from me. Trust me. If he's on my draft board, he's probably going my first or second pick.
He's easily a top 5 fantasy wide receiver. It's not even a doubt.
Yeah,
because of how many touches that he gets throughout the year. It's not even.
All I'm saying is in the NFL, anything can happen. It's tragic, but anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean the Cowboys have won a Super Bowl since 1995.
Exactly. Didn't expect to. Oh, that'd be scary.
I got it. Oh man, Higgins and Amon-Ra scare the daylights out of me.
And then you got Jameson Williams coming in on like third down just to burn you real quick.
Huh?
Now hold on, Sam. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on. Wait a minute.
You got to think about it.
I didn't say this. That's what I'm saying. Because I did not say that.
No, I know. He's just making that statement. And I actually agree with that statement. I wouldn't touch Devonta Smith or AJ Brown unless if it was like maybe my wide receiver 2.
He's not talking. No. He's talking about Amon-Ra.
Oh, he's talking about. Wait, no. He just said Brown is not a top 5 draft pick.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I said that.
Oh my god. Dude,
come on.
I'm thinking AJ Brown, man.
Who was off today and who worked?
I was working all day.
No, Anthony. I didn't say he was a top 5 draft pick. I said he was a top 5 fantasy wide receiver. That's what I meant. I didn't say he was a top 5 fantasy pick in general. There's about 4 running backs that are going to go in the top 5.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley is one of them. Anthony said, what about T. Higgins to the Saints?
With Chris Olave?
Olave could use the help. He definitely could.
He could. I mean, they have a decent number 2 behind him, but definitely Higgins would be a immediate upgrade.
I'll tell you right now, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are happy as pigs and you know what if today.
Yeah.
So, but no, so you're going A.J. Brown for the poll question, right?
Yes.
I believe Anthony said, yes, Anthony has said Devontae Smith. I'm saying Devontae Smith. Fans, comment your answers as well. Who will be the Eagles' leading receiver? A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, or other? And the first person says Paris Campbell, I'm pinning their comment. No, I'll literally pin it. It's funny. But let's talk about, we could just, since we're talking about wide receivers anyway, who, man, was today big?
Oh, yeah.
Justin Jefferson, man. 4 years, 140, am I correct?
Yeah.
$35 million a year, and he gets $110 million guaranteed. He is now the highest paid wide receiver, and he has set the market again. Okay, hold on. Let me answer. Anthony, this is the easiest question in the world. It's going to be Jalen Hurts. If he's healthy, it's going to be Jalen Hurts. I'm not even. I'm not doing this with you today. So you want to answer that question real quick, by the way?
Who's leading the rushing touchdowns? Saquon Barkley.
I'm still sticking with Jalen.
Jalen will. I think this year he'll be runner up in rushing touchdowns. I think we're going to see some different looks at those short situations. We'll see the tush push. We will. We'll see it a lot. I think that we'll change it up every now and again. Who knows? What if we do see Saquon taking the snap on that play? Is there something wrong with that, Sam?
You know exactly what is wrong with
this. There's something wrong with that?
There's something wrong with the Nimrod who put it.
Oh, you're still mad about Paris Campbell.
Yes. Did you not? Okay, anyway. But no, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're going to see the tush push, yes. But I think you're going to see a lot of fakes with it now. I think you're going to see a lot of those, line up for them, and then here comes Saquon out of nowhere, and he gets the football. I think they are going to run a lot of different looks with it this year. I still think Jalen's going to lead the team in rushing touchdowns, but it's not going to be by a large margin. Oh, wow, what did Swift have last year? 4? And Jalen had 11?
Did he only have 4?
I don't remember. Did he get the ball enough?
Some weeks he got the ball enough. Other weeks.
Some weeks. So Zolt's top 5 wide receivers currently right now are Lamb, Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek, and Brown. I'm assuming he's meaning A.J. Brown and not Amon-Ra. I'm pretty sure, but
Swift had 5 last year.
Oh. And Jalen had what, 13?
13 or 14. I can find it.
Yeah. Now Anthony's saying that I love the Jefferson signing. Now the Cowboys will have trouble keeping everybody. Anthony, you think the Cowboys are going to be in trouble? Tell the Bengals to hurry up and pay one of their wide receivers. Why don't you?
And it was 15 rushing for Hurts.
So he literally had that. I don't think next year you're going to see that large margin.
No, I don't think so either.
On this matter. So you cracked me up.
So Zolt said Lamb, Jefferson, Chase, Hill, Brown, top 5 wide receivers. Which I'm assuming he loves Amon-Ra. He's a Lions fan, so that's got to be Amon-Ra there.
That's why he said you can assume anything you want. He will not be commenting further on this matter.
He secretly means A.J. Brown. He knows.
Well, first of all, if he's talking about A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra can probably be right behind him, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Amon-Ra is easily top 6.
I would honestly take Tyreek out of there. If we're talking about for fantasy purposes, I guess we can leave him in there because he puts up some crazy fantasy games. He's not as consistent, though. That's the only issue with him.
Zolt broke his silence already. It's AJ. Amon-Ra's either 6 or 7. I can make the case that sometimes Tyreek's not even the best wide receiver on his team.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Jalen Waddle's more consistent than him.
Tyreek
gets his stats off of the big plays. He needs those big plays. He doesn't just consistently pick away at you for these short gains. With him, it's pretty much all or nothing.
No denying that. Now, the real question now is, it's just we're at this point. So this is why this is why Howie Roseman is just ahead of the game. And I just put a YouTube short out maybe like an hour before the show about this. This is why Howie Roseman is the best GM in the NFL. Because Justin Jefferson is now making $35 million a year. Devontae Smith is making $25 million, and A.J. Brown's making $32. And Joe Banner, former Eagles front officeman, to come out and say that Devontae Smith should fire his agent because of what's happened since he signed his extension. Hey, Joe, let me give you a little enlightenment here. Maybe Devontae Smith doesn't care about money. Have we ever thought about that? Maybe Devontae Smith wants to do this thing. What's it called, Tyler?
Winning?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's something you hoist up. Something
Winning
Joe
Super
never
Bowl?
did. Something Joe never did here because he let he let his best wide receiver leave the team. But what do I know? But some guys just want to be on a team for their whole career. They don't want to move around. Devontae wants to win. He doesn't
Because
want.
when you look at it, you break it down. The only places people go to get top money are to bad teams who need to draw in these top players to try and make their team better. You'll rarely ever see a guy getting top of the market money on a team that's already destined to go to the Super Bowl.
Yes, and we are aware that Devontae Smith was one of the highest paid wide receivers, right, for about 3 days.
Yeah. He set the market for 3 days.
And then they said it again.
And then again.
And again.
And again.
And again.
And again.
This has been happening with quarterbacks for how long?
Forever.
I mean, it's just how it is. Anthony said Howie's good because he backloaded the money on the players. He took the playbook from the Saints. No, that he did not, because the Saints have been in salary cap mischief for how long? The difference is Howie continues to restructure the contracts. The Saints don't do that.
The Saints just push it away and forget about it. Howie thinks about it every single year.
Yeah, he puts them void years in those contracts.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that, so here's a good number for you, Tyler. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown only have $25 million more guaranteed dollars more than Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson's getting $110 million guaranteed on his deal. Those two got $135 combined. Howie Roseman is just ahead of the game. He plays chess, they play checkers. That's just how Howie Roseman is. And this is what makes this such a great. I mean, look, good for Justin Jefferson. We knew this was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what? Howie Roseman knew this was going to happen.
That's why he got it done.
And now we don't have to worry about any of our stuff.
He waited for Jefferson to get his contract and then try to negotiate with AJ. Oh, that would have been tough.
Exactly. Imoni Bentley saying "Go Birds." What's up, Imoni? Go Birds as always, man.
Go Birds.
Always go Birds. There's always go Birds here. But yeah, look, this is a good day for this. Is just this today shows you two things. It shows you Justin Jefferson's a stud, and we knew this, and it shows you that Howie Roseman's just ahead of everybody else. And now look, the Vikings were going to pay the guy. I think we can agree there. They weren't going to let the guy walk in free agency or trade him. I mean, you were trading him. You gave me a king's ransom. So it's a smart day for Howie. Today just makes Howie Roseman look smarter than we already know.
Yep.
Zolt just said, plus the earlier you sign, you guys, the better the deal is. Money only goes up. Lamb and Chase now have a blueprint for what to ask for. Oh, man. Well, you know what? We can talk about that for a quick second. What do you think? Well, where do you think? Let's start with a more interesting name based off of his money. What do you think T. Higgins is going to get?
I don't think T. Higgins is going to get the same amount as Jefferson.
He better. I think T gets around 30.
I think that's
fair.
Fair enough. I mean, T. Higgins, I want to pull it up and double check.
Okay.
From what I can remember, last year was kind of a down year for him.
It was. Wasn't he hurt?
From what I can remember, he was healthy for the most part.
He only played 12 games last year.
Only 12? Okay. I
He
think
only had,
it was the beginning of the season he didn't play. Was it, or was
yeah.
it the end?
I have no idea, but he only had 42 receptions for 656 yards and 5 touchdowns. Both the Bengals wide receivers were banged up last year.
Yeah.
That old Bengals
But
offense was banged up.
he went from his rookie year, almost put up 1,000 yards, and then 2021 and 2022, over 1,000 yards. And then, I mean, he did average the most yards per catch in his career so far last year. So if he was healthy, you could make the argument. Probably would have easily put up 1,000 yards again, maybe more.
Oh, easily.
So, but being banged up the year prior and then going into a contract year, the contract negotiations, doesn't really help your cause. Honestly, I see T. Higgins maybe getting like 28 million a year.
I got him in that anywhere between 28 to maybe 32 million.
Yeah.
And Zolt makes a great point here that the Bengals are going to pay Chase. They already paid Burrow. We can't put that much money in 3 players.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're right. The Bengals can't because they're not the Eagles.
Well, that's the thing. Yes, Hurts is making his money. AJ's making his, but Devontae took a little, in retrospect, took less. Higgins isn't willing to do that, and no offense to T. Higgins, he is not as talented as Devontae Smith. I love T. Higgins, but he's not Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get them John Ross back.
My gosh, they can have him back. Can't body Ross.
And Anthony said CeeDee Lamb's not going to get the big deal because Cowboys are going to have to pay Micah Parsons. No, Anthony, they're going to pay CeeDee Lamb, and Micah's coming home.
What, we're just going to be the Penn State Bulldogs? Is that it?
The Nittany Bulldogs, get it right.
The Nittany Bulldogs.
With some Crimson Tide in there. Oh, I agree. Absolutely. Right here, I agree with Zolt 100%. CD is going to hold out.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Who's cracking 40? Oh. Lamb or Chase? Who's getting $40 million a year?
Chase.
Someone is.
Chase.
You think it'll be Chase? I think it'll be CD because I think Dallas is going to have to do it.
Both teams are going to have to do it. That's the thing.
Yes, but here's the thing. The Bengals are smarter than the Cowboys. Here's the other thing. I know it's not. I don't want Zolt and Anthony climbing down my throat for what I'm about to say. Technically, the Bengals could just say, "Hey, we could just go draft another guy and sign T for less money, Jamar." So make your mind up here. If the Cowboys lose CeeDee Lamb, they are screwed. You get what
they have nobody. They have no other option. I get that.
You get what I'm saying. The Bengals have more of a leeway here than the Cowboys. They're not going to do that. I know that. Anthony, I 100% agree. Chase is definitely getting 40. CD, man, and guess what? If Chase goes, here's the thing. Chase is not going to get 40 unless CeeDee Lamb signs first. If Chase signs first, he'll hit 38, which I hope happens, because then CeeDee's going to get 40 to 42. And I'm just going to be sitting there laughing.
I mean, if Chase gets 38, I could easily see the Cowboys being like, hey, you're about the same player as this dude. We're not giving you like $4 more million in him. They might offer him 40. I don't see 42. If Chase only gets 38, I don't see 42. They might offer him 40 a year, maybe give him some more guaranteed money, and be like, this is the best you're getting.
Okay. I've got 3 things with Zolt's comment. 3 takeaways. Number 1, CeeDee Lamb 36 to 37 is actually great market value because that's about what he's worth. Same thing with Chase. If Tyreek Hill is the first $40 million wide receiver, I'm firing my GM.
I see Zolt's comment is kind of where I was getting at. Just because people keep getting more and more money doesn't mean that everyone's new contract is going to continue to reset the market. there might be a point where the team's just like, okay, this is the top of the line. This is what we're going to offer you. You're not getting offered more. We're just going to offer you what the best is right now.
And if you don't like it, deuces.
Yeah. If you want to cry and become a free agent over, because you want $3 million more to be the highest paid, oh, well, see you.
And so
But
that's the other.
if we're looking at that with Tyreek Hill, when does he become a free agent?
I have no idea.
Do
You
we
want to go
know?
pull?
I'm looking it up right now.
I would say you want to go pull that contract up because I don't. I don't know if it's after next year. It's definitely. It's not after this year. I don't think.
So Tyreek Hill is already 30 years old. Okay,
Yes.
he will become an unrestricted free agent in 2027. Apparently.
When is
So
it?
okay, he signed his extension in 2022. And apparently, it was a 5-year deal because it's saying unrestricted free agency 2027. Unless of this is over the Caps website.
So Tyreek's not
So
happy with his deal. But hold on. Anthony, here's the problem though. Dak need a new contract too?
yeah, unless if they're moving on from him, but
That'd be the smartest
he's
thing they'd ever do.
but if we're talking about Tyreek Hill, he's already 30. By the time he becomes a free agent, he's going to be getting out of his prime. Your legs start to slow down at some point. He can still
Yeah, I'm
play
not.
football, but he's not going to be the fastest man in the league forever.
We saw what happens to one-trick ponies when they get too old. Unfortunately, Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, he was that. He was that speedster at the time.
We will never forget Week 1 of 2019. Right, Tyler? We'll never forget that.
Nope. But yeah, it was a 4-year contract.
Zolt just backed me up on what I said. Dak does need a new deal, and then Zolt also said to tune in the Dueling Aces if he can turn up some Dak conversation going. Oh man, but yeah, I just there's going to be a $40 million wide receiver. I just don't think it's going to be Tyreek Hill because who's going to give him 40 at that by the time he gets to free agency? But
So
but wait,
apparently, they're looking at possibly restructuring Tyreek Hill's deal.
well, look what Zolt said here. This is a few comments ago. Miami just paid Waddle. They're going to have to pay Tua. Hill will get cut to save money, and someone will pay him 40.
What point are we talking about him getting cut to save money after this season?
Possibly.
It's going to be 31 years old. I'm sorry, I'm not paying a 31-year-old speedster
$40
$40
million.
million a year. I'm
No
not
way.
doing it. I'll pay him the top market value at the time. So who knows? Maybe heading into next year, maybe 40 will be the top of the line. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Everything you just said. Zolt said someone will. Hill will want longer term, and the trade off to that will be short term big money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. Short term, big money. Probably less guaranteed money though.
Oh, absolutely. And Zolt's also saying he thinks Miami walks away after this year. Well, I mean, if they go into another game where it's 18 degrees and they only score 7 points, absolutely they will.
Yeah.
For one, I can't see Tyreek Hill getting that. I just can't.
The only difference between Justin Jefferson's deal and Tyreek's original contract he signed with the Dolphins, Tyreek originally signed for 4 years, 120. It's a $20 million difference. They could easily restructure him if they wanted to get him some more money.
But they ain't got Howie Roseman.
True.
What do you think about this comment from Anthony? Nobody really will pay Tua big money. If I was the GM, Tua would get his money on bonuses. I need to see him play a full season. I do not disagree with anything he just said.
I don't. Tua still hasn't proven himself as the long term face of the franchise.
Yeah. Now look. Can we agree with something? you're always going to pay the guy you drafted.
Yeah.
Eagles did it with Carson Wentz and with Jalen Hurts. Bengals did it. Everyone does it. The Cowboys did it with Dak once already. But not only is Anthony spot on with the health, I'm sorry, how many points you put up in KC last year? In the freezing cold? This almighty high-powered offense with Waddle and Hill and this zone run scheme, Shanahan BS. How many points you score? 7?
Oh yeah, they look good playing down in Miami in that hot weather, with their stadium that's designed to make the away teams cook. While they're
Literally,
literally, not even
literally,
joking.
Literally. No, I'm good. Tua, I don't know what Tua's market is. We'll talk about that another day because that's just that's a headache in its own right.
Yeah.
But to retract here on the poll question for the show, the poll question for the
poll
show.
question.
But we kind of talked. Anthony went Devontae Smith. I went Devontae Smith. You went AJ Brown. So just so everyone gets the poll question results, just before we move on in the show. The poll question, of course, this week was, who will be the Eagles' leading receiver in 2024? A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, or other. The winner of the poll question was A.J. Brown, who received 64% of the votes. Devontae Smith received 29% of the votes. So 29% of our fans are voting for Mr. Devontae Smith. And Dallas Goedert received 2% of the votes. No, 3% of the votes. My mistake. And other received 3% of the votes. I wonder if somebody voted on all of them.
Is that possible?
Is it possible? You're an idiot. Now, Zoltus said, I don't disagree with wanting to see it, but again, the money only goes up. And do you really want to have to pay Tua up against free agency? They made the call before the draft. They are in bed with Tua now. Sign him before it becomes 60. You know what? Another one makes perfect sense because then you're in quarterback purgatory again. I mean, look, I would rather have Tua than go through a bunch of journeyman quarterbacks.
That's true because, you got all these wide receivers. You need someone to throw the ball to him. Tua's obviously shown he can throw the ball to him.
Anthony said, whoever picked Dallas Goedert, you smoking. Hey, Anthony, why can't Dallas Goedert be the leading receiver?
Yeah. Maybe they have some grand plans for him, and, Smith and Brown are just going to be, like decoys.
Stop it. Stop.
And we're just going to run Dallas Goedert screens on every down.
I missed that play. I feel like we didn't run it once last year.
We didn't. The only screen, it wasn't even the Dallas Goedert OG screen. It was some weird screen that they did. I think they lined him up as like a slot wide receiver and just did a wide receiver screen to him. It was terrible. I hated it. But Brian Johnson doesn't know how to call anything. Anthony, let me know how you feel.
Tell us how you really feel. So, now, moving on into the show now. So there's the poll question in the first segment of the show. Another segment that almost took an hour, but that's what makes the show fun.
We were talking about a lot of stuff. Sam sucks. Sammy sucks. Sammy sucks. Sammy sucks.
Hello to you too, Adam.
I like this guy.
Adam's another one of our friends from the Dueling Aces. You should definitely, if there's ever a show when I guest appear and Adam is there, it's entertaining. No, because here's the thing. The week of free agency, fun story real quick. The week of free agency, all I was doing was going, because I know that Adam is a Browns fan, I went in there and said, no, there were reports that the Browns were in talks with Jameis Winston to be the backup to Deshaun Watson, which, by the way, what a quarterback room that is. I got jokes that
stolen lobsters and massage parlors. Great. Cleveland's worst nightmare.
Okay, anyway. Anthony, we actually are on YouTube. Going on
Yeah,
YouTube.
this is
Go on
our
YouTube.
first show on YouTube.
Adam still hates me for it. Yeah, Anthony, go on. We are on. We are currently live on YouTube right now. Just go on YouTube, type in @Birds of the Gridiron, and we should pop up. And of course, Anthony, hit that subscribe button, please. Much appreciate it. But yeah. So I, for one, I just. So anyway, back to the story. So all I did was I said it in their comments that Winston was in talks with the Browns. So then I said that I thought it was funny. Then, like a day later, Jameis Winston signed. But then Adam got revenge on me because we traded for Kenny Pickett. So, look, it all worked out, okay? It all worked out just fine and dandy. So, just for that. And Anthony, by the way, I just sent you the YouTube link, so you can do that. But yeah, so moving on to our show, we're going to talk some OTAs to end the show. So there's a lot to talk about. You spoke it into existence. Adam, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Maybe you'll be lucky, Adam. Maybe he'll get cut in training camp. Maybe you'll get lucky.
And like Zolt said, go on YouTube, check out Birds of the Gridiron.
Appreciate you, Zolt. Appreciate all our boys over there at the Dueling Aces. Always big supporters of ours, and we love you guys.
Much appreciated.
So let's talk about something that happened last week. I don't have the footage. I didn't feel it was appropriate to put on the show because I feel like every other Eagles platform has done it already. There was an incident down in Sea Isle City between Jason Kelce, Kylie Kelce, and a fan. Adam said he said it's Cleveland. He'll be our star by week.
He's not wrong.
Anthony's like, yeah, he prefers YouTube better. Yep, and Anthony. I just sent you the link on Messenger. So go hit that subscribe button and go watch it on the tube, man. I remember Anthony was always comment on YouTube when we were doing the other when we were ending 609 up. But
yeah. So
this fan clearly now look. For what I've seen, everyone is okay. The fan has apologized. Everyone is okay now. I'm not here to attack the one single person. I'll let you give your opinions too, Tyler. But all I'm going to say is, I understand it's cool, you know? You see your favorite athlete, your favorite player. But you also, at the end of the day, we have to remember something. At the end of each day, they are people just like us. He is retired. Now, I'm not going to say... Now, look, I'm not going to blame anybody, but I mean, you buy a Cybertruck, you kind of stick out a little bit. But these guys and their families are people just like us. We know Kylie Kelce and Jason are famous. We know this. And they're loved all over the South Jersey, Jersey Shore, Philadelphia area. We get that. But you can't go up and bombard them when they're trying to enjoy time with their families. The only thing I will say is I did learn something about what happened. I ain't messing with Kylie Kelce. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not messing with Kylie Kelce ever. You want to put any words on this, Tyler? Just about like celebrities in general?
If you go up to them and they say they don't want to be bothered, they don't want to be bothered. Asking them again isn't going to change that.
And arguing with his wife's not going to help it.
Not at all. Wasn't the person trying to do, aren't they like some sort of like influencer on Twitter or Instagram or something? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't go into people's personal lives. So
I didn't read into it, so I don't care. Oh my gosh.
Anthony, Jason Kelce owns a Cybertruck, just so you know.
Oh, man.
It's kind of hilarious.
I don't know
but
why
yeah,
you do that.
And I'm like, I'm the same way. Like, I would never, like, okay, I have a story. I had one celebrity encounter in my life that was like not at an event, like a wrestling show or a sports thing. So do you remember when Great Adventure
Sam,
Six
you were
Flags?
just too scared. I know what you're talking about.
No,
Don't
I
listen to
know.
Sam's story.
No,
He
no, no,
was
no,
just
no.
too scared. He didn't even
Listen,
try. He didn't even
no,
ask.
no, I didn't no, I did not for a specific reason. Okay.
You were afraid.
No, this guy was not someone. This would have been. I probably would have been DDT'd on the concrete.
Oh, no.
But no. So as anybody who's local to our area knows that Six Flags Great Adventure up in Jackson does wrestling stuff. Like they'll have wrestlers that are independent, sometimes WWE, sometimes guys that are in AEW or just on the indie scenes. Well, they were having one of their conventions about 5-6 years ago, and I'm working late night. It's like 9 o'clock at night, and a car pulls in, and who gets out of the car but Jon Moxley, of all people, right? Like you're sitting there, I'm sitting outside at Wawa working at 9:30 at night, and Jon Moxley gets out of a car. Like holy crap! But it's just like you got to read the room, and I read the room clearly. It would not have been the time. It would have been like I get thrown into the car.
Nah, you don't know that.
You just got to read the room with them. And when Jason Kelce was trying to have a date with his wife, you don't go up and bother him. If they say no, you respect the boundary. That's all you do. That's really the only thing we can talk about on the matter.
You didn't even ask.
No, why would I? Not in that situation.
You were afraid.
He would give you a reason to be afraid. He's not a small dude, okay? I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, I know he's not a small dude.
Excuse me. But no, like I said, you read the room. The dude's been at a convention all day meeting people, and when he gets recognized like that, he's like, man, I just want to go and get my stuff and leave.
No, you should have did Sam. Should have just put your fist out, fist bumped him. Just like held it out like the Shield. Just waited to see if he did anything. If not, just walk away.
I get the Shield fist pound, then I get kicked in my stomach, and I'm sitting on the ground with a DDT to my head.
No.
But anyway, now that we got that out of the way, want to move on to some OTA stuff?
No more.
Well, actually, we have a little bit of news today.
Oh, we got some news?
The Eagles have made a free agent signing. We have a free agent move today. I don't know if anyone saw this. The Eagles agreed to terms with free agent guard Max Scarping.
Scarp.
He has spent. So he is a guard that has been basically more of a special teams player over the past year, like on PATs, field goal blocking. He used to be a solid starter. Now, he was a starter early in his career with the Texans. Then he moved over to Cincinnati. So from 2019 to 2023, because he didn't start a game last year. He was mostly a special teamer. From 2019 to 2023, he had 2,124 snaps, 6 sacks allowed, and 13 penalties. So that's what he did for those 4 years. Now, the other thing that I found out very interesting with this was last year, Philadelphia's top 4. This from last year. The Eagles' backup offensive lineman last year had 29 career starts. Jack Driscoll had 16 of them. Tyler Steen had 0. Sua Opeta had 5. And Fred Johnson had 8. I don't know where Fred Johnson started 8 games in the NFL, but man, I must be missing something. Listen to this one now. Tyler. The first YouTube comment from the GOAT, Anthony Price. So that was last year. 29 career starts from our backup offensive lineman, right?
Mm-hmm.
This year, Max Scarping has 38 career starts. Mekhi Becton has 30, and Matt Hennessy has 22. So they've almost doubled it. They've done a good job of adding backup, experienced offensive linemen.
They did. They have a lot of depth on this line. So they seem prepared for almost all possibilities of whatever can happen throughout the course of the season.
Agreed. Scarping. So Scarping has lined up for 1,536 snaps at left guard, 884 snaps at right guard, 34 snaps as an interior tight end,
Really?
12
Okay. So those are like those
a
big
big
goal line sets, pretty much. Yeah.
yes. 12 snaps at center and 3 snaps at left tackle, but he ain't gonna be lined up no dang left tackle here.
Nope.
So I mean, like I just said a minute ago, you're going from 29 career starts from your backups last year to 90.
They got some experience.
Yeah, and I mean, these guys are. Matt Hennessy was one of the best offensive guards in football before he got hurt a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Scarping was a very solid starter before he just kind of faded away. So he's probably they're great backups. And Mekhi Becton, I still think there's something there.
Yeah, I think so. I said it. If Mekhi Becton could stay healthy and this could be kind of like a career resurgence for him, he might be able to take over Lane's spot when he retires.
He could.
We don't know how long that's going to be, but
Yeah, you never know what could happen. All right, so I got a few just a few notes here. It's going to be a little shorter of an episode tonight, but I got a couple short OTA notes here. So the first note comes here. I'm Mr. Eagles Insider on Twitter. I got all my Eagle guys always hooking me up with the great news. So Jeff Kerr tweeted a few days ago that he noticed that Jalen Hurts is targeting the middle of the field significantly more in these open practices. Now remember, not all of these things are open to the media, so whatever they're seeing, it's a very limited sample size. The Eagles were dead last in pass attempts in the middle of the field last year at 37.1%. Dear gosh.
Brian Johnson.
Hurts was second to last in the NFL targeting the middle of the field at 37.6%. For quarterbacks that had 100-plus attempts, there was only one quarterback worse than him.
Brian Johnson.
Do you know who that quarterback was?
Brian Johnson.
All right, in all seriousness.
I don't
you
know.
Guess it's now his backup, Kenny Pickett.
Oh, God. So worse than Brian Johnson.
Yeah, Matt Canada. So the first team secondary this past practice was Isaiah Rodgers, Keely Ringo, and Tyler Hall. Okay. Darius Slay, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and James Bradbury were not at this past week's OTA sessions. The first team safeties were Reed Blankenship and Avonte Maddox. And I'm just warning you now, from what Christian Parker is coming out and saying, who is down to their new secondary coach, this Avonte Maddox thing at safety, it sounds like there's something there, apparently.
There's something there. So is he looking to be starting with CJ?
I still think it's Blankenship's job to lose, but I mean, I may trigger Dennis by saying that.
Don't say that if Dennis is here.
Dennis may freaking steal the link and take the show over and say, look. I mean, maybe, but I still think they value him in the nickel too much. He's still one of the most valuable nickel corners in the league when he's healthy, so.
Yeah.
Zach Bowen and Devin White were still the first team linebackers, but Nakobe Dean did return to the practice field, and he was taking part in 7-on-7s, rotating with Bowen.
Okay.
So they're starting to get Nakobe Dean back into the swing of things here.
That's good.
So, Nolan Smith had an interview with the media after practice last week saying that he has added some muscle this offseason, and he is up to now 245 pounds.
That's a good size for an outside edge rusher.
Yep. And Jordan Davis came out and said that he has lost over 25 pounds and is now weighing in at 350 pounds and is working to get in his words, get into the best shape of his life. I figured this is going to be a nice topic for a few minutes, so that's why I saved it for last.
Yeah, because, I mean, we were talking about Jordan Davis not too long ago.
Yeah. I mean, you want to start off here with Jordan Davis for a minute?
I mean, Jordan Davis, people have tried to, you know, give him a little bit of grief over the past few years, and some of it's warranted. He came into the league as a rookie. You don't really understand how an NFL locker room is, how much preparedness you have to do. So the fact that it took him some time to adjust, but then we kind of saw like later on in the season, I think it was after he was injured for a few weeks, and he came back from the injury and he looked leaner. He said he was feeling better, but then fast forward to his second year, kind of fell back into that same thing a little bit, and then you could just kind of see he was being impactful, but the stamina was not there.
Agreed.
Now we can all agree, even for his size that he was before, he can move. That's a large man that can move fast, but the stamina is the issue. We need better stamina out of him so that we can have him on the field for more downs, so we can get the most impact out of him. Because only getting 2 downs and then having him come out of the game, it's not helping anybody. But if he can get in the best shape of his life, best physical condition, get some great stamina out of him, have him be a true nose tackle, I think we could see him as a 3 down guy.
Yeah, because right now he is weighing in at 350 pounds, which, just for anyone that needs to know, a nose guard has to be a little big. They have got to take up a lot more gaps than normal 4-3 defensive tackles. So,
He's not an Aaron Donald.
no,
He's not lining up rushing the passer all over the defensive line.
he's more like Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah,
I think that's a perfect comparison as Dexter Lawrence. So,
that's a really good comparison.
so I still believe that Jordan Davis is going to have a big year. I think our Georgia Bulldogs are going to have a big year coming up.
Oh
And
yeah,
no, I'm expecting some big things out of Nolan Smith too, by the way.
yeah.
And now here's an NFL topic that anybody who's watching at home with us would like to throw in their opinions. Is this the end of OTAs? The NFL player, according to Tom Pelissero, the NFL Players Association is working to finalize a proposal to overhaul the offseason starting as soon as 2025, eliminating voluntarily on-field work in the spring in favor of a longer training camp ramp up, with players reporting in mid-June to early July. What are your thoughts on that?
I think cutting out the voluntary OTAs would work out, and I would think that I would think early July would be a better start date for training camps. I do think that they should keep the rookie mini camps, which I don't think that's something that they were talking about getting rid of. I think it's just
No.
OTAs. So rookie mini camps are definitely good. Give the rookies some learning experience before you just toss them in a training camp. That's kind of
Yeah.
essential. But I don't see much of an issue with it. I mean, it allows guys to be able to start working as a unit earlier. Like you're kind of limited what you can do with OTAs.
Yeah, and plus you're never going to get the full team aspect because you don't have everyone showing up. Like James Bradbury didn't show up for any OTAs yet. Darius Slay was there for the first week, but not the second week. CJ Gardner Johnson, same thing. Lane Johnson hasn't shown up. And like I'm not knocking the guys, but they're voluntary. So like when you're a
Yeah,
guy like Lane, like if you're like Lane Johnson, you're like, dude, I'm like a freaking 6-time All Pro. I don't need your OTAs.
yeah.
I could walk in, I could skip training camp, walk in week one. I'm still the best right tackle in football. Zolta said, I think you have a mandatory OTA for rookies and players coming off injury. Otherwise, I like the idea. I actually really like that idea.
Yeah, I can see that. Like maybe if it's either like he said, rookies, players coming off injury, or maybe new signings, first year players on the team, have them. It's mandatory OTA for them.
And
Maybe
Anthony
have it
picked,
like one or maybe like last 1 or 2 weeks, just so they get a little bit of work done before training camp comes around.
yeah,
But
And Anthony said, cut OTAs. Nobody really goes. Extend training camp.
Yeah, like you think about it. When does training camp start? First week of August?
So now it's like they
No,
start reporting like the last week of July
last
or
week of
something.
July. Okay,
Because remember,
so
they got to get a month of preseason games in too.
exactly. So that's where I was going with that. Is you start the training camp, and then you have these preseason games going through August. So it's kind of rushed. There's not a whole lot of time to really sit down and develop guys before the season starts. Like everything just goes so fast.
Check out Zolt's comment. What do you think about having OTAs for players that are in their first 1 to 3 years?
Um, yeah, I can see that. Anthony says cut the preseason games. Yeah,
Did we
that's true.
already do this?
My only issue is we're already down to what, 2 preseason games, I think, isn't it? Only two?
Oh, it's right.
Is it 3? I don't know. I don't remember. But I
Who
think
cares?
they should at least keep like 1 or 2. I get it. People talking about injuries, unnecessary injuries happen in the preseason. It doesn't even count. Preseason does count for people who are trying to make that final roster. If you base everything off of training camp, you're going to have a lot of camp heroes that don't translate well to the field. The preseason allows these guys who are trying to make the team a chance to prove themselves. If
I
you're losing starters and getting starters injured in preseason, you're doing something wrong.
I said that. Now here's the thing. Jalen didn't play any preseason football last year. I understand that. Jalen also came out looking rusty. I think they need to try to get them at least 2 reps in. You got to get at least 2 series in and get these guys some type of
Yeah,
football action before opening day.
yeah, I agree. But I mean, at the end of the day, as well, it's football. If something's going to happen, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers on what was it? Was it first or second series in week 1 where he
Week one
ruptured
was
his
like
Achilles?
it was like the third play.
Yeah, it was like the third play on the first drive.
So go.
What's to say that a starting quarterback in the preseason, they're just out there for like the first 2 series? Anything can happen.
You're right. I absolutely agree. And Zolt said, what about guys like on future deals and camp invites and giving
Yeah,
them extra reps? And then Anthony, I actually agree with this with the cutting down the preseason games. These guys already have joint practices with other teams anyway.
hmm
They are essentially preseason games.
yeah, that is true.
Oh, what are some fans going to be like? Oh, I can't go to the preseason game. Oh, well, you can't spend $40 on tickets. Like, dude, stop. Go to the practices then.
Yeah,
But
but yeah,
we're
I
going.
do like the joint practices.
Yeah,
They're beneficial.
we're most likely going to be. We're most likely going to be down at the open practice this year.
Yeah,
So I mean, yeah, like you have these joint practices. Who cares? Like I don't care for preseason football. I want to get my team to the opener healthy. That's all I care about. Get my team to the opener 100% ready to go. That's all I ask for. And our last little bit of news for today, and we'll probably be wrapping up the show after that, is the Eagles. Get your tissues, Tyler. Have officially placed Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelce on the retired list.
no.
They will take on some dead cap hits. They will be taking on $8.6 million dead cap in 2024 and $16.4 in 2025.
Wait, Sam. It's post June 1st. Is
Oh, I know.
Bradbury gone?
He's still here.
Why?
He's still here. What's up, Cornell?
Why didn't they cut him the second it was June 2nd?
Could
No
you
pun
imagine?
intended.
Could you imagine if they haven't done it because Howie Roseman actually could find a trade partner?
That'd be great.
There's
I'd love it if they could get someone to trade for him. I'll take a freaking 6th round pick for him.
Cornell, just to update you what we're talking about, Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox were placed on the retirement list, so they are officially retired. It's an end of an era. It is an end of an era in Eagles football, Cornell, and we're not happy about it. But no, could you imagine what would you think, Tyler? Let me ask you this. Team comes in, right? They're asking you, hey, we'll give you a 4th round pick for James Bradbury.
4th rounder, that's a steal.
I think a 5th round is a steal.
Yeah.
But let me just ask this. I'm not saying this is me. Oh, Cornell, we're definitely going to miss them. We're going to miss Kelce and Fletcher all over the place. Let me just ask you this one. Do you think we're being and I'm not saying this is me. Do you think we're being a little too hard on James Bradberry?
No, not at all. From the lack of effort and missed tackles I saw from him last year, and him getting burnt, I get it. There was a whole dysfunctional defense.
That's what I'm getting at here. The whole defense was terrible.
I mean, is he going to magically relearn how to tackle, though? Because he was never the best tackler to begin with. And last year was just very bad.
Well, again, that's why this is literally what I was getting at here, is because, but this is what Jonathan Gannon did that Sean Desai didn't. He put them in zone coverage, and they flourished in it. And Desai went man coverage with them, and Slay and Bradberry have never been known for that.
Nope, never.
Anthony, are you saying that Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox are going to pull in the Dominican Sue and Linval Joseph?
They're going to wait even longer.
Hey,
they're not going to come back at the end of the regular season. They're coming back for the Super Bowl.
Hey, man, no complaints here. Get them a ring.
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
they already got rings.
Get a second one. Who cares?
Just give them an honorary one. Say that they were still unretired. They were in limbo.
I will say this. Jason Kelce's already 25 pounds lighter than he was at the end of last season, so it's probably impossible for him to return. He's already 25 pounds lighter than he was last year, so good luck trying to get him out of retirement. It was a good run for Jason Kelce, but people got to stop asking and begging like it's going to happen. It is what it is. It's over. It was a great year of Eagles football, and we thank them, but that's it for them at this point.
I already knew it was over. I don't know who was holding out hope.
Maybe me.
You must have seen what happened with Tom Brady, and you were like, it can happen for us too.
Well, I think the craziest thing was I expected Jason Kelce to retire. I didn't know Fletcher Cox had told the team at the end of the Bucs playoff game that was it for him.
Yeah.
That really caught me by surprise that he knew right then. He's like, all right, this is over.
I was surprised too because honestly, I really thought that he was going to wait and go out with Brandon Graham.
I know.
I thought he would have wanted that kind of one last hurrah season as well.
Yeah.
Because Fletchy kind of seems like the kind of person that wants that. But I guess not. He don't care. He was done.
Nah, Fletcher's a private
guy. Right, that's a good run.
Any ending comments, Tyler? Anything you got to add?
No. We covered about everything. I don't got nothing.
I got one. Get James Bradberry off my football team. That's all I have.
You should have been cut yesterday.
No denying that. Anyways, guys, we're going to wrap up tonight's episode of Birds of the Gridiron. First of all, real quick, Tyler, can we just recap something real quick? 17 episodes in?
17.
Want to thank everybody who watched us over on X tonight and everybody who watched us over on YouTube as we made our debuts on those platforms tonight. And, of course, all of our lovely Facebook followers, which, by the way, we forgot to mention last week, and we apologize for that. Thank you guys so much because we hit 150 followers on Facebook last week. So we want to thank everybody for showing their support for that. I want to thank everybody who commented in with us tonight and was watching along with us and was talking with us throughout the night. Your comments are always greatly appreciated, and they make the show, guys. Your comments, like we say, we don't have these shows without all our great fans, because if it weren't for you guys, we'd just be two guys talking into our computer screens all night. And I could do that. We could do that whenever. So I want to thank everybody for commenting in tonight. We hope you all have a safe rest of your Monday night. Have a safe rest of your week, and we will see you guys back here same time next week. So, for Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.